Yo, what's going on, dudes? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 10 maps that deserve to be official maps in Bloons TD6. So the first map we're going to be taking a look at is going to be called Clash Royale. So if you guys have played Clash Royale in the past, then this map definitely looks familiar to you. So this map was made by Leon Storot. I have no idea if I said that right. You guys know the deal. Like, I'm really bad at pronouncing names, but you guys get the gist. Now, I was looking at this map, and this is one of those maps that like really stood out to me because it's such a ingenious idea, and it looks really, really cool as well. Now, with this map, it does seem to be a little bit on the hard side for the most part, right? Because we have, I think 4 different pathways here, and they all go down here in the bottom of the map. Now, for this, I think if we like started off with like a quad dart monkey start, that would be enough. But this map is super, super cool. I mean, just look at the pathways that the balloons take. And I also want you guys to pay attention to all of the detail that the author put into like the sides of the maps. On top of that, I really like the way that he designed the castles as well. Like, the red side does look a little bit wonky because he was forced to use like mushrooms for like the castles. But even though he used mushrooms for the castles, it still looks really, really good. So again, a great job to Leon for coming up with this map design. Coming in at number 2 is called PacMan Like and Enjoy, made by Brad BTD 2.0. So this one is definitely a little bit more of a popular map, but I really, really like the way that this looks. Now, this is one of those maps that I have to appreciate how much like effort Brad put into this map, because it's so cool. On top of that, you really don't have to worry too much about barriers either. So I don't know how many pathways Brad put into this map, but it's got to be quite a few, right? I think it'd be better to like start off with like a monkey sub, but like just like trying to keep track of like where all of these balloons are, it's a little bit rough. So it looks like they go up here to the top, and then they come down through here. Okay, so I get what's going on. Like, there's multiple pathways going on throughout this entire map. I want to say it's like 3 pathways, but then again, it could be on like the cusp of like 4 different pathways. So let me see. So 1, then there's 2, 3. I think it might be 3 pathways, but then again, it could be 4. But again, Brad did a great job with this PacMan rendition of a map. The next map I want to point out is going to be called Around the World, made by Matty Boy. So I think I've actually seen another map made by Matty Boy, but I was looking at this map, and normally when you have like maps that have like different themes, like they'll be in like a square pattern, but Matt did something a little bit different, and he made the different areas like kind of like broken up. And I really like the way that this looks because it has a little bit more of a like around the world feel, opposed to just like having a couple of different sections in the map. Like, he did a great job with like using these rocks as a pathway. On top of that, he also, or actually I have no idea what these like I don't know what these blue things are. Does anybody have an idea of what like these little blue circle platforms could be? I'm not exactly sure. I think it has to be like a prop that's flipped upside down, but even though it's a prop that's flipped upside down, I'm not exactly sure what it is. But nonetheless, Matty did a great job with this map. I really like how he didn't like do the stereotypical like 4 sections of the map where it's like divided up like a checkerboard. Instead, he came up with a whole new approach. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Underwater Journey, made by Balloon Phoenix. So this one is another map that is quite popular with 110 likes, but this is a map that I've actually wanted to do for quite some time, but I never like figured out like a proper way to like make an underground map. So when I was looking at this map, I was like, yo, this is so cool because it actually looks like we're underwater, right? I think what he used, yeah, like I really like the way that he like improvised the coral reefs. Like, I think he could have done a little bit of a better job with like the perspective of like the or not coral, but kelp. Yeah, so I think this is supposed to like simulate kelp. So I think if you would have done a little bit better job of like stacking the kelp, this map would look so much better, but at the same time, it already looks really, really good. So the shipwreck actually looks like an underground shipwreck as well. On top of that, he has like a bunch of garbage all over the place. He has like a little like snail. He has like the mast from the ship. Now, another thing that I really have to appreciate is like how this like mast actually looks like it has sails on it, right? Like, they did a really good job with this map. On top of that, there's also like a underwater critter inside of the cave. This looks so good, and they did a really good job at like making this seem like it's an underwater map, right? Coming in at number 5 is going to be called a Volcanic Void BTD6. So this was made by King Schnarf, and I've actually checked out quite a few of King Schnarf's maps before, but when I looked at this one, I was like, yo, this looks so good, because I like the way that he like made the pathway. On top of that, I really like what he did with the flames as well. So this is definitely one of those maps that I believe it deserves to be an official map in Bloons. Like, it always amazes me like how like people can come up with like these crazy designs, right? But even though I said like coming up with like these crazy designs, I think this map is from another Bloons game. But even though it's from another Bloons game, it's not always super easy to like incorporate a map from a different game into Bloons TD6, right? But again, King Schnarf did a really good job at recreating this map from BTDF. Coming in at number 6 is going to be called a Glacial Creek, made by Notkale. So I think I've checked out another one of Notkale's maps before, but I don't exactly remember. So I was looking at this map and I thought this was so interesting. So it looks like we have a dual lane track here, right? So we have a top pathway as well as we have a bottom pathway. So this is going to be kind of difficult, right? I don't know if this would be possible on Chimps, but it might be. And the only reason why I say it might be is because we have enough room to like place a monkey sub in the back of the map here. But just because we have enough room to place like a monkey sub in the back of the map, I don't know how effective it'll be because we have all of these trees that are separating the two sides of the map, right? So that being said, this is definitely going to be on the harder side of the maps, especially if you're playing on Chimps. I want to say that this would probably be on the cusp of being like a, I don't even know, like maybe like a intermediate map or an advanced map. I say intermediate, but I meant to say advanced. But nonetheless, this looks like such a good map. I really like all of the detail in the background. I like how they added the grass on underneath the trees because this is like something that you'd actually see if you're like going through the forest and stuff. On top of that, I also liked how they added like the small details of adding the like little pillars underneath the bridge to like show it's being supported by the pillars, right? And then they also went to the trouble of adding a fishing pole over here. So again, they did a really good job with this map. And I know I'm saying that all these guys are doing a really good job with the map, but I mean, all of the maps I've shown so far are really cool, right? Coming in at number 7 is going to be a Little Garden made by Bethanet. So this is a little bit more of a simpler map, but this is a map that I'd expect to see in Bloons, because it's a really simple map. Like the balloons will like come over here, they'll like split up. I think they'll like do a circle around, and then one path will go over here and then exit in the top of the map, and then one path will go around here, it'll exit in the top of the map, and then I want to say another one of the pathways will circle around and exit on this side. So this definitely seems like it's going to be a pretty challenging map. The only thing I need to look at is how, okay, so the map is good, but they already messed up a little bit by forgetting to like make some of these leaves like to where they weren't blocking the towers, right? Now that being said, I don't know if this map would be possible on Chimps. I would have to like actually like play this on Chimps. I don't know if we could start off with a triple dart monkey start, but if we can, then it definitely will be possible on Chimps. Okay, so looking at this, so let me see, 1, 2, let me see. Yeah, so it looks like they do one circle around the map or around this like center part here. And then they end up like splitting up. One will go straight through, the second one will go this way, and then the third one will go and exit on this side of the map. So I really like the way, or I really like the concept that Beth used behind this map. And on top of that, I also like all of the details as well. I think there are a lot of really cool details on this map, from like the water fountain in the middle of the map where she placed grass around the fountain. I also like all of the like side details over here, and I also really appreciate how the balloons will exit through the house, right? So coming in at number 8 is going to be called Curved Hedges, made by Dirk Uncle. So I was looking at this map, and it definitely reminded me of the map of the hedge. Because, I mean, this definitely has like a hedge vibe. The only difference is that instead of like having like a single pathway, we have 2 pathways, and on top of that, we have balloons coming from both directions, right? So that's why I really appreciate this map, because it's like a take on a map that's currently in Bloons, just with a little bit of a different style. And on top of that, this definitely seems like a map that you guys would see in Bloons BTD6. It may not have like the best visuals. They also forgot to add like shade. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with like the details, but for the most part, I think this map has a really cool concept, and that's why I added it to the list. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Autumn Path Revenge, made by Just Lexa. So this is another map that kind of flew under the radar, but when I was looking at this map, it looked so clean, and I really liked the concept behind it as well. On top of that, they also did a pretty good job with adding like just enough shade to where it like stands out, right? So with this map, as you can see, we have 5 pathways, so this is definitely going to be a pretty tough map. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is if they left enough room in the center of the map to like place down towers. So it looks like we can fit 1 monkey sub here. Oh, and then I just look and it looks like they ended up beating us on Chimps. So it's definitely beatable on Chimps. It's just definitely looks like it's going to be a little bit on the harder side, right? So I think we have our first expert map in our list. So one thing I will say is I feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job with like lining up the pathways, but for the most part, it doesn't look bad, right? I also really like the autumn theme as well. Even though we're in the middle of winter and we're a little bit past like the point of autumn, I do really like the way that this map looks, and I think Lexa did a really good job with this map. But I'm also curious, like, who out there can actually beat this map on Chimps? So right here in the bottom right is the map code for Autumn Path Revenge. So make sure you guys check this map out and see if you guys can actually beat this on Chimp. And then finally, coming in at number 10 is going to be called Welcome to Jurassic Park, made by Firefly. So I was looking at this map and it looked so cool. And on top of that, I'm actually a really big fan of Jurassic Park. So the fact that there's a map out there that is based on Jurassic Park, I think that's really, really cool. Now, the one problem I can foresee with this map is it looks like there's not a lot of room to place down towers. Like, obviously, we could place down, like, towers up here, but this is definitely going to be on the harder side of maps, and I don't know if this map would be beatable on Chimps. Like, I'd probably have to play this map on Chimps to see if it would be beatable. It might be because we could probably place down like 3 dart monkeys along this road, as long as this like short path didn't give us too much of a hard time. But I think for a number 10 map, I think this map definitely deserves to be on the list, right? Because it looks so cool. Now, one thing I will say about this map is I wish there was a little bit more detail in the pond up here, as well as I wish they would have like emphasized a little bit more on like the beach side. So if they put like a sand area in the background, it would look a little bit better. On top of that, if they also added like shade to the background as well. Maybe in the upcoming future, I'll do like a rendition of this map, and I'll do a little bit of a better job at like turning this into an official map, because this is definitely one of those maps that I feel deserves to be an official map, and I think we can actually turn this into an official map, right? But again, Firefly did a really good job at coming up with a really unique map concept, and I think this map is so cool. And again, guys, there were so many maps that I want to include on the list. Like, if I went through my favorites, I think I have somewhere in the ballpark of like 50 maps saved. Like, it's just like there's so many people coming up with really, really cool map designs. That being said, if you guys know of a map that you feel deserves to be on the list, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. But anyways, dudes, that's gonna do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe as well, because I do upload daily BTD6 content. But anyways, guys, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.